What's going on? It's DJ K13 back again with another weekend recap. So last weekend was amazing. Let me tell you, it was a birthday celebration for DJ E Nice. You can see him on the screen. This is actually the DJ that taught me how to DJ and everything that I know today, and really gave me a basis and a foundation to work off of, to be able to DJ and go to Canada, Mexico, and play all across the United States. So I've been really blessed. Big shout out to DJ E Nice, and big shout out to DJ Sahil, a great friend, awesome guy, another co-mentee of DJ E Nice. He's been doing some amazing events up near Detroit. And another DJ that was up there was Just Dre. Dre's awesome DJ. Got the pleasure of DJing with him a year ago as well for another E Nice event up at the Foundry in Jackson, which is where a lot of this footage is coming from. This was the bulk of my weekend. So amazing show, good turnout, good crowd, active, very energetic, good into it. You know, we had a lot of good crowd work, so that's always awesome to have when you're going up into a show. And today I want to give a second to talk about a little bit of what it means to grow as a DJ. And that's something that came up on my mind coming from this weekend. As I mentioned, this weekend was a blessing. I got to work alongside a DJ that showed me everything and got me started. And I'll talk. So let's jump all the way back to the beginning, and I'll give you all a breakdown of how I got into being a DJ today. So it all stemmed from a conversation with a buddy of mine. We were kind of debating. This buddy's name is Felix, man, my brother through and through. And we were just debating, like, what can we do after college? You know, we weren't satisfied with just having a degree. And I mean, truthfully, it doesn't really mean all that much. And so we were debating, like, where do we go from this? And he had mentioned a friend of ours had DJ'd for a wedding DJ group and had gotten his, it was a little bit of side money, something like $20 an hour to help set up and put stuff away. So it wasn't too difficult there. And to me, at the time, I was like, wow, $20 an hour. I mean, shoot, I ain't doing nothing in my downtime anyway. So let's see what's going on. And so I had met a DJ at an event the prior Wednesday. The place that the event was at was a place called The Junction. This place in Michigan it actually just closed not too long ago, but a couple of buddies of mine and I used to go there every Wednesday and Thursday because they had free pool. You could play pool for free there. And instead of going to the arcade and paying, a couple bucks to play pool, we just go up in there. And if it was really slow, there was no cover. So we get in completely for free, just play pool, and they serve drinks too. So, I mean, most of us stuck to pop, but, we could get something if we so pleased. And I had met a DJ, got his Instagram there, and didn't really think too much of it, to be honest with you. I just thought it was cool that I knew the DJ. And so when we were having this conversation, back to the Felix part of this, I thought, well, why don't I just send him a text message? So I sent him a text message. I said, hey, it was nice meeting you. I'm kind of interested in learning what it's like to be a DJ. So do you mind if I come out and watch you? And so I did. I came out, watched him at his show that night, because immediately that night was when he had the show. And so I went out there and just kind of stood around, watched him. He greeted me when I walked in, knew who I was, already knew, come on up. So I got to see from behind the booth of what it looks like. Started taking some video for him. And this was really where the key was, because this video part took me on to do video recordings for other DJs and pick some up, some other stuff as I went. But that was something that I hadn't done in a long time, but I've always been pretty good at doing video and recording, but also the video editing portion of the side. And I had actually just done a larger video, got back into editing completely from a trip that I had taken to Mexico with a study abroad group at Michigan State. So it all just kind of came together right at the last minute, really. And it was such a blessing, that the Lord put on me, and when I got to work with this DJ, record his sets, DJ E Nice would head me out to the studio, man. He'd head me out to all his shows, big and small, and We eventually ended up working together at a show at a place called Pablo's, and they are lovely people there. They really support us, and we were happy to support them. We did some good events over there, and it was always such a blessing and an awesome time playing there. So, but we, from recording the sets to learning how to get a gig, to getting a gig, to doing a gig together, and then calling up places that I knew back home and getting gigs by myself, and then going from there to connect and link with people who like my music, like the way I play, or from other affiliations, and go across the way to Canada, within about perhaps, I think, 5 months of DJing, I went abroad. So it all happened really, really, really fast. And I was just blessed to have a really good mentor. I always tell people I got to skip the whole bedroom stage of DJing, and that was really awesome. I always had a passion for being that bubbly person to engage with the crowd, and also having an ear for music. If you really got to have an ear for music when you're DJing. You gotta, if you can't tell what keys songs are in, you at least got to tell the different drums apart. So when you mash them together, you can use your stems at least, and it can sound half decent. So, but it was just a blessing, and staying consistent in it is definitely the biggest part of DJing. You should be touching the decks, the ones and twos, every day, because even if it's just terrible, you just still got to get in it and get something done, because once you mess up once, you know what to do, and you can keep growing from there. But it's always better to do it at home or at some sort of practice session than it is to do it right there. And you got to be experimental when you're doing shows, but I'll tell you, it's always embarrassing when you say you ain't got a good cue point set, right? And then you got an extra 16 bars, or I should say really like 2 or 4 bars of just a drum loop because you took an edited version or an extended version of a song, and you forgot, you grabbed the wrong one. And so things like that you can avoid when you're actually at the gig if you're practicing your sets ahead of time and getting them ready. So, growth as a DJ is a long process, but it's a beautiful one, because you go from your first moment, touching the ones and twos, moving a song together. Like, I started on Rev 1, and I was told, DJ Nice used to tell me, practice with songs you like because you know them. You already know them already, so you can move one over to the other and just practice, just transitioning. Just play the whole song out and move it from one piece to the other and make it sound good. And from there, keep going. You'll take it, see where you can take it, bring it out at the end of a chorus or something, and move, get gradually a little bit better and be a little bit more experimental as you get good with it. And that comes with practice. So that's a really huge piece of DJing, and coming out of this past weekend, that's something I wanted to really hammer on and make the focus of this specific video, because you will see growth. You just got to stay in it. It doesn't start overnight, especially with music you don't know. As we grow in our talents and we find different music and we get put on to different requests, like, I'd say I never really listened to much Bollywood music. I got booked for an Indian party, and it was all Bollywood music. And there were some other traditional songs that I didn't know anything about, right? And I was lucky the Bollywood music sounds a little bit like our 2000s pop music, and a little bit more into the modern stuff today, especially in the sound and the layering of the drums. There was actually some reggaeton-like songs in the way that they used Tresillo pattern. So, yeah, having that experience and playing around with different genres is really something that can get you further. But don't be upset if you can't get it immediately. Don't be upset if you press play, try to blend something, and it just sounds terrible. Like, okay, press it twice. Just do it again. It might go good, man. Don't give up after one. So that's the lesson here, coming out of this weekend. don't give up. Keep trying. Keep pushing, man, because you never know where it can go. You know, you might be playing to empty crowds, a corner bar, like a lot of guys that one-man band shows. They'll come over with a guitar and play in the corner of a bar for a restaurant, you know, ambiance music. That might be you, right? But there will be a time where if people really like your sound and you keep pushing at it, you can play those headline gigs. You can push up. So just keep going, man. You got it. So that's my piece of advice for this video. And that's, you know, I didn't really offer much into a weekend recap, but I mean, what can I say? It was an amazing weekend, as you can see from the footage here. So we had a lot of DJs come out, a lot of good people up in Jackson, Michigan. They really go hard. Every time I come out there, it's always an awesome show. And I got some great shows coming up for the rest of the month of March, so should be awesome. They're more club-geared shows, so it's going to be some of the same type of footage. But I have some private events that are coming up towards the end of March and into April. April will be a lot of private events, so you'll start to see some different types of footage here in these weekend recaps and throughout the videos, you know, that I post to YouTube. So you can always feel free to check out my Instagram as well. That's where I post the most live, like in the moment content is on that Instagram page. And I also shout out, you know, all the other stuff I'm getting into. So feel free to check it out. Post it up at DJK_13_. Go give it a look. And I appreciate y'all for checking in and listening to me rant for 12 minutes now. But I love y'all. Peace. Have a blessed week.
What up, though? We're here with DJ E-Nice. We're leaving the Foundry. About to go home.
It was a hard-ass night. Shout out to K13. Shout out to Sahel. Shout out to Disray.
It was crazy.
We went down Jackson, Michigan.
You already know. But 28. Keep the dates.